Hello everyone and welcome to Kiki Crochet. In this video we're going to see how to crochet adult size crocodile stitch booties. So I am going to crochet with a 5mm crochet hook and with the yarn called Alize Lana Gold, and it is a 49% wool and 51% acrylic yarn. So let's start with our chain. So I'm going to start with my beginning knot, and I am going to make a chain of 27. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So if you want to find out the rule on how to and more information on how to make the adult sole, I'm going to give you the link to the video for the adult sole, so you're going to find information. So out of the 27 stitches, so when we crochet with double crochet, out of the number of stitches that we make in the beginning of our chain, we are starting with, when we do one stitch in every stitch, one double crochet in every stitch, we're gonna have 2 less than the amount of chains that we made in the beginning. So I just made a chain of 27, so that means that in my first row I'm gonna have a total of 25 double crochet. Out of those 25 stitches, I'm using the first stitch for increase and my last stitch for increases also. This side is my heel increase and this side over here is my toe increase. So I have 25, from which the first and the second, the first and the last are increases. So I'm going to have 23 stitches in the middle to work with. So I'm going to start from the 4th chain from the hook. So count 1, 2, 3, 4. Put your hook in the stitch and make a double crochet. So the chain 3 and the double crochet give me my first 2 stitches for this row, from which the first one is where I'm going to make my increases for the heel. So I start counting my 23 double crochet from this double crochet that I just made over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. And my last chain is the one where I'm going to make my first increases, and those are the increases for the toes. So I am going to crochet 7 double crochet in this last chain over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So whatever we did on the whatever we did before the increases, we want to do after the increases also. So since we finished our increases, we're gonna make 23 double crochet in the middle of our sole. So starting from this next this next stitch over here, we're going to crochet on the opposite side of our chain stitches. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and in the last stitch, which is the chain 3 that we turned to our first row. So in this first chain of my chain 3, I am going to make the increase for the heel. So I'm going to make 4 double crochet in this chain stitch over here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Put your hook on your first double crochet for this row, which is our chain 3. So put your hook in the third chain. And make a slip stitch. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And this chain 3 counts as a double crochet. And we are going to make a double crochet in this next stitch over here. So this first chain 3 does not count as one of the stitches that we're going to make in the middle again now. So because in this chain 3 we are going to work increases in our next row. So I made chain 3 and a double crochet in the first stitch. So starting to count from this double crochet over here, we're gonna make 23 stitches in the middle again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. So now we have come to the 7 stitches that we made in the previous row. So in this row, in each of those 7 double crochet, we're going to create an increase. So I'm going to make 2 double crochet in each of those 7 stitches. So once we finish that step, we're going to have an extra 14 stitches. So first stitch, 1, 2, next one, 3, 4, next one, 5, 6, next one, 7, 8, next one, 9, 10, next one, 11, 12, next one, 13, and 14. So this was my last double crochet, my last increase. So whatever we did before the increase, we want to do after the increase too. So I'm going to make 1 double crochet in each of the next 23 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. So in each of the next 4 stitches, we're going to create increases for the heel. So I'm going to make 2 double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, next stitch, 3, 4, next stitch, 5, 6, and my last stitch, 7, and 8. Put your hook in the first stitch for this row, slip stitch, chain 3, and now we're going to do a double crochet in the same stitch where this chain 3 came out of. So this is my first increase, which will count in the increases at the end for my heel. So now you need to pay close attention to this part because it might be the most confusing part for the sole, but it's really not that confusing. But if you're making a sole for the first time, so what we want to do now is we want to make 1 stitch in every stitch for each, 1 double crochet in every stitch for each of the stitches we were doing in the middle. So we were making 23 double crochet plus 7 from the stitches from the increases. This rule applies to any size sole that you make. So we want to take the numbers of stitches in the middle plus 7 from the increases. So in this case we have 23 in the middle plus 7 from the increases. So we're going to make 1 double crochet in each of the next 30 stitches. So starting from this next double crochet, start counting your 30 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. And now we're going to make increases in each of the next 5 stitches. This applies to all adult soles that you make. So put your hook in the next stitch and make 1, 2 double crochet, next stitch, 3 and 4, next stitch, 5 and 6, next stitch, 7 and 8, and your last stitch, 9 and 10. So now whatever we did before the increases, we want to make after the increases also. So we're going to make 1 double crochet in each of the next 30 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. And now we're going to create increases in our last 3 stitches. So we're going to make 2 double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. 1, 2 in the first stitch, 3, 4 in the next one, and in the last double crochet, 5 and 6. And with the increase that we created in the beginning, we have our total of 8 stitches as an increase for the heel and the end. So we're going to put our hook in the 3rd chain, make a slip stitch, and chain 1. So this is our sole, and let's measure it. And it's about 24 centimeters. So this is about a size 8 in adult size. And what you want to do now is pause the video, make your second sole in the same time, because if you leave your shoe and you complete the first shoe and then you make your next shoe the next day, your next slipper, you're gonna have a different size slipper. Even though you're gonna create the same amount of stitches, you're either gonna get a bigger or smaller slipper. So you always want to make both of your soles in the same time. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna start building up our rows. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start making one stitch in every stitch. So we're gonna make one single crochet in every stitch. We had 30 on the one side, 30 on the other, a total of 60, 10 in this increase, so 60, so 70, and 8 in the end, 78 stitches. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be making one single crochet in every stitch, but I'm always going to be grabbing the back loop of every stitch. So if I put my hook in regularly, this is the front loop, and this is the back loop. So I want to be putting my hook in the middle and grabbing the back loop every time. So let's start from the first stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20, and keep making one single crochet in every stitch up until you finish all the row around. So I've completed my 78 single crochet. I'm going to put my hook on the first stitch of this row and make a slip stitch, chain 1, and turn your work. So see how our slipper has already started to build up from this row with one stitch of every stitch. The slipper starts to build up because we're not making any increases anymore. So we have turned our work, and we are going to make 3 more rows of one stitch in every stitch. So I'm having a total of 78 stitches. So I'm going to start my second row, and I'm going to turn my video off, and we're going to continue, and we're going to finish the second row, and then we're going to do the other 2 off camera. So starting from my first single crochet, now I'm going to be putting my hook in the stitches regularly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and keep making one single crochet in every stitch, total of 78 in the end. So I've completed my 78 single crochet, and I'm going to put my hook in the first single crochet of this row. I'm going to make a slip stitch, chain 1, turn my work, and now I'm going to turn my video off and make 2 extra rows of single crochet. We have already made 2 after the sole. I'm going to make 2 more, so a total of 4 to start with. And I'm always going to be turning my work after I finish every row. So let's make 2 more rows of single crochet, and I'm going to turn my video when I have my 2 rows done also. So at this point I've completed the extra 2 rows, so I have a total of 4 rows of single crochet after I've completed the sole of the slipper. So what we're going to do now is we are going to create the decreases. So our slipper is going to start closing up so then we can make the crocodile stitch. So what we're gonna do is we want to have the left side where we are doing the slip stitch. So this side is our heel and this side is our toes. If you are getting confused, you can check your increases. You'll see that this part over here is the part where we have made the 7 increases. So this is the part for the heel, for the toes, sorry. So this is the part for the toes, and this part with the 4 increases is the part for the heel. So turn your slipper upside down and fold in half where we have the first increases. And turn your slipper. So what we want to do now is we want to separate the stitches that we are going to crochet our decreases in. So I have a total of 78 stitches. Half of 78 is 39. So what I want to do is I want to separate a little more than half of the stitches. So instead of separating 38, I will separate 40 stitches because half of 78 is 39, but I would have to separate an even number of stitches because the total number of stitches here is even. So if I separate an odd number of stitches, my slipper is going to come out crooked. So we want to separate an even number of stitches. So I'm going to separate a total of 40 stitches. So what I'm going to do, so you want to place your hook a little more to the left than half of this, halfway through, a little more than halfway through. So probably somewhere over here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go one more stitch to the back here and one stitch. So I just added an extra stitch because instead of 40 I had 39. So I just moved to the left, one stitch to the left on this side, and I placed my hook in the same stitch on this side of the slipper. So we want to have an even number of stitches. So I'm going to put my stitch markers on those stitches. So the first stitch marker goes into this stitch over here, and the second stitch marker goes to this side over here. Okay, so now we are going to turn our work and start making one single crochet in every stitch up until the stitch before my stitch marker. And we want to remember the number of stitches that we made in this first row of decreases. We want to know the number of stitches we made before the stitch marker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and my last stitch 12. So I have made 12 stitches before the stitch marker. So starting from my stitch marker up until the next stitch marker, I am going to create decreases. I am going to be crocheting 2 double crochet together. And this applies to any slipper that you make with single crochet or half double crochet. When you make your decreases, you're going to work double crochet. Even if you make front posts double crochet, You always want to make your decreases with regular double crochet stitches. This way your slipper is not going to start pointing up, because if you can try and make your decreases with single crochet, you'll see that even from the first row, your the point here, the front of your shoe, is going to start pointing up. So I'm going to take out my stitch marker, and I'm going to wrap the yarn around my hook once and put your hook in the next stitch. Grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops. Wrap the yarn around once, put your hook in the next stitch. Grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops, and now we have a total of 3 loops on our hook. Grab the yarn, pull through all of those 3 loops. Put your hook in the next stitch. Grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops. Wrap the yarn around once, put your hook in the next stitch. Grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops, so we have another 3 loops on our hook. Grab the yarn and pull through all of those 3 loops. So I have crocheted in 4 stitches, and those 4 stitches have given me a total of 2 stitches in this round. So put your hook in the next stitch. Grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops. Put your hook in the next stitch. Grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops. We have a total of 3 loops in our hook. Grab the yarn, pull through all of those 3 loops. Put your hook in the next stitch. Grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops. Put your hook in the next stitch. Grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops. So we have a total of 3 loops on our hook. Grab the yarn, pull through all of those 3 loops. So that's how we're continue our decreases up until we reach the other side of our stitch marker. So let's crochet the next 2 stitches together. So put your hook in the next stitch. Grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops. Put your hook in the next stitch. Grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops. Grab the yarn, pull through 3 loops. Put your hook in the next stitch. Grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops. Put your hook in the next stitch. Grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops. Grab the yarn, pull through all of those 3 loops. Put your hook in the next stitch. Grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops. Put your hook in the next stitch. Grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops. Grab the yarn, pull through 3 loops. Put your hook in the next stitch. Grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops. Put your hook in the next stitch. Grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops. Grab the yarn, pull through all of those 3 loops. Put your hook in the next stitch. Grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops. Put your hook in the next stitch. Grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops. Grab the yarn, pull through all of those 3 loops. Crochet the next 2 stitches together in the same exact way. Next 2 stitches together. Next 2 stitches together. Next 2 stitches together. Next 2 stitches together, and we keep making double crochet for decreases. Next 2 stitches together. Next 2 stitches together. Next 2 stitches together. And our last 2 stitches, the one before the stitch marker and the stitch that we have our stitch marker in. So put your hook in the next stitch, grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops, put your hook in the next stitch, grab the yarn, pull through all of those 3 loops. So this is how our slipper looks like so far. See how it has closed up over here? So now we are going to crochet 1 single crochet up until we finish this row. From the beginning up to the stitch before the stitch marker, we had 12 double crochet. We decreased 40 stitches, so those 40 stitches became 20. So 12 plus 20 is 32. 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, and my last stitch, 58. Put your hook in the first single crochet of this row, make a slip stitch, chain 1, and turn your work. This 6th row after our sole is going to be a row of 1 stitch, 1 single crochet in every stitch. So we're going to have a total of 58 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So keep making 1 single crochet in every stitch up until you finish this row. And the reason that we make a single crochet, the reason we make a row of 1 stitch in every stitch is because first of all we want to see how it has really decreased, and the second reason is that if we create decreases after decreases after decreases, we're going to get rows with big holes, and we don't want that on our slippers. So let's finish the row of camera, and when I finish making my 58 single crochet, I'm going to turn my video back on again. So I've completed making 1 single crochet in every stitch for this 6th row. I have made my slip stitch in the first single crochet of the row, chain 1, and I'm going to turn my work. What we're going to do now is we're going to create a row of decreases again. And remember when I said that we have to remember the amount of stitches that we had in the beginning before the decreases? So we had a total of 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'm going to put my stitch marker after the 12th stitch, so in the 13th stitch. So I'm going to start my decreases from here, and I'm going to decrease a total of 20 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I'm going to put my stitch marker in the 20th stitch. So in this row you're creating decreases in the amount of stitches that you had as a result from your first row of decreases. So out of the 40 stitches that we decreased, we had a total of 20. So we are decreasing a total of 20 stitches now. So I'm going to start by making 1 single crochet in every stitch for the first 12 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So what I'm going to do now is, because I want to decrease, I want this to be my last row of decreases, because I do not want this part of the shoe to get any taller, because I want from the next rows for my crocodile stitches to start forming. So what we're gonna do is, instead of decreasing 2 stitches at a time, I have a total of 20 stitches. 20 is a multiple of 4. So I'm going to decrease 4 stitches at a time. So I'm going to take out my stitch marker. So I'm going to wrap the yarn around once, put your hook in the next stitch, grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops. That was the first stitch. Put your hook in the next stitch, grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops. That was the second stitch. Grab the yarn, put your hook in the next stitch, grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops. That was my third stitch. 1, 2, 3. Wrap the yarn around once, put your hook in the next stitch, grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops. So I have a total of 4 half made double crochet in 4 different stitches, and I have a total of 5 loops on my hook, 1 loop for each stitch, and the 5th loop is the loop that we always have on our hook. So grab the yarn, pull through all of those 5 loops. So let's decrease the next 4 stitches together. So put your hook in the next stitch, grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops, put your hook in the next stitch, grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops, put your hook in the next stitch, grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops, put your hook in the next stitch, grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops. So I have crocheted in 4 different stitches. We have 5 loops on our hook. Wrap the yarn around once, pull through all of those 5 loops carefully. So we are going to work on our next 4 stitches together. Put your hook in the next stitch, grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops, put your hook in the next stitch, grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops, put your hook in the next stitch, grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops, put your hook in the next stitch, grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops. So we have 4 different stitches. We have 4 different stitches and a total of 5 loops on our hook. Grab the yarn, pull through all of those 5 loops. So wrap your yarn around once, because as we said in the previous rows, that we are working double crochet when we are doing our decreases. So put your hook in the next stitch, grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops, put your hook in the next stitch, grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops, put your hook in the next stitch, grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops, put your hook in the next stitch, grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops, and we have a total of 4 stitches and a total of 5 loops. Grab the yarn, pull through all of those 5 loops. So put your hook. So now we're going to make our last 4 stitches. We're going to work in the last 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and the 4th is the one that we have our stitch marker in. So put your hook in the next stitch, grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops, put your hook in the next stitch, grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops, put your hook in the next stitch, grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops, and put your hook in the last stitch, the 4th stitch, grab the yarn, pull through 2 loops. So we have a total of 5 loops on our hook. Grab the yarn, pull through all of those 5 loops. So now we're going to keep making 1 single crochet in every stitch up until we finish our row. We started with 12 stitches. Our 20 stitches became 5, so 12 plus 5 is 17. Next stitch, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, and my last stitch, 43. Put your hook in the first single crochet of this row, slip stitch, chain 1, and turn your work. So this is how our shoe looks like so far. What we're going to do now is we are going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch for the next row. So we're going to have a total of 43 single crochet. So 1 single crochet in every stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and keep making 1 stitch in every stitch for each stitch around.